The rain had stopped before dawn, but the ground was still wet and muddy. James hadn't slept all night. His eyes were red, his hands shaking. Every sound made him jump. Even the ticking wall clock sounded like footsteps in the hall. He knew what the voice on the phone meant. He had to return to the old science block that night. If he didn't, they would come for him. All day, he tried to find Jeed. No one had seen him since the clinic incident. Some said he was taken home by his parents. Others whispered that he ran mad and disappeared into the bush. James didn't know what to believe anymore. When night came, he dressed in black, just like the first initiation night. He didn't want to go, but something inside him, maybe fear, maybe the mark on his arm, kept pulling him. As he walked through the quiet campus, he felt like invisible eyes were watching him. The wind blew harder, and the trees swayed like they were warning him to turn back. But he didn't. When he reached the old science block, the same yellow light glowed faintly from under the door. He took a deep breath and pushed it open. Inside, 5 figures stood in a circle, dressed in black robes. At the center was a small wooden table, covered with red cloth. On it lay an old, leather-bound book and a black candle burning with a strange blue flame. Lord Shade stood at the head of the circle. When he saw James, he smiled behind his red mask. "Welcome, brother," he said. "We knew you would come." James's voice trembled. "What do you want from me?" "You made a promise," Lord Shade said. "Now it's time to complete it." He pointed to the book on the table. "Place your hand on it." James hesitated. The mark on his arm began to burn again, sharp and hot like fire. He winced, clutching his arm. "Do it," Lord Shade ordered. James slowly reached out and touched the book. The moment his hand touched the cover, the candlelight flickered and the room grew cold. Whispers filled the air again, the same ones he had been hearing at night. But this time, they were louder, closer. "Power has a price. Power has a price." The room began to shake. Dust fell from the ceiling. James tried to pull his hand away, but he couldn't. His palm was stuck to the book, as if glued by invisible force. "What's happening to me?" he cried. Lord Shade stepped closer. "You are being chosen. The Brotherhood does not just give power, it takes what it needs." Suddenly, the candle went out, and the room fell into complete darkness. James heard a deep growl behind him, not human. Then, something cold brushed his neck. He turned sharply, but saw nothing, only darkness. A voice whispered right in his ear. "Your friend Jide refused. He belongs to the shadows now. Do not refuse." James screamed and fell to the floor. The mark on his arm was burning like fire. He could feel something trying to crawl under his skin. Then, all at once, the chanting stopped. The candle lit up again by itself. Lord Shade looked down at James. "You are now fully bound to us. From tonight, you carry our mark body, soul, and spirit." James gasped for air. The pain faded slowly. He looked at his arm. The triangle mark was now dark black, carved deep like a wound that would never heal. He whispered weakly, "What have I become?" Lord Shade leaned close. "One of us." The others laughed softly, their voices echoing like shadows in the wind. Outside, thunder rolled again, and the night swallowed their laughter. 2 weeks passed after the summoning night. James had changed not just on the outside, but deep inside. He didn't talk much anymore. He stopped attending lectures. When people looked into his eyes, they felt something cold, something strange. Even his friends started avoiding him. Rumors began to spread around campus. Someone said they saw James walking near the abandoned science block at midnight. Another said they heard him talking to someone, even though no one else was there. But the scariest rumor came one Tuesday morning. A student named Amaka went missing. She lived in the female hostel, just 2 rooms away from the corner. Her roommate said she stepped out at night to make a call and never came back. By the next day, everyone on campus was talking. Some said she ran away with a boyfriend. Others whispered that the campus cults had started their dark work again. James heard everything, but he stayed silent. He didn't tell anyone what he knew, that Amaka was Jide's girlfriend. And Jide had disappeared 2 weeks before. That night, James sat alone in his room, staring at the wall. The mark on his arm began to itch again. He scratched it until it hurt, but it didn't stop. Then, his phone vibrated. A message came from an unknown number. "It's time for another gathering. The moon will guide you." James's hands trembled. He didn't want to go back. He wanted to forget everything. But when he tried to ignore the message, his mark began to burn again, stronger this time. It felt like fire running through his veins. He screamed and fell to his knees. When the pain stopped, he knew he had no choice. At midnight, he went to the old science block again. The same men were there, Lord Shade and the others. But this time, there was something else. A black bag lay on the floor, moving slightly, as if someone was inside. "Brother James," Lord Shade said calmly, "tonight, we complete the circle. Do not be afraid." James's heart pounded. "What's in the bag?" "A gift," Lord Shade said. "One who tried to expose us." The others started to hum again, the same low sound he heard during his initiation. The candlelight flickered. Shadows danced on the wall. Then Lord Shade opened the bag. Inside was a girl, tired and weak. It was Amaka. James froze. "No, please, she didn't do anything." "Every brotherhood has its price," Lord Shade said. "You will learn that tonight." James stepped back. "No, I can't." Before he could finish, his mark began to glow red. His hand moved on its own, reaching toward the candle. He tried to stop himself, but it was like another force was controlling him. Amaka opened her eyes weakly. "James, please." The light in the room began to spin. The book on the table opened by itself, and pages started flipping fast. Wind blew through the room even though all the windows were shut. Then, suddenly the candle went out. Darkness. Screaming. Whispers. When James opened his eyes again, the room was empty. The bag was gone. Everyone was gone. Only the candle remained, burning with a blue flame again. He looked down and saw Amaka's necklace lying on the floor. He fell to his knees, shaking. "What have I done?" A voice echoed in the darkness. "You didn't do anything. We did." It was Lord Shade's voice, but there was no one there. James grabbed the necklace and ran out of the room. Outside, the wind howled, and the moon disappeared behind the clouds. For the first time, James realized the truth. He was no longer in control of his own soul.